Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Going to spend some time with my friend, Tom Taormina. He is awesome. I love what he does over there at, it was rocketscience.com. And by the way, a very, very big announcement over the last couple of weeks in terms of some name changes and that type of thing. We got to discuss that. But our big focus today is going to be on leadership. But before we get started on that topic, do tell us a little bit, Tom, about your phenomenal resume, your work of being, of having the right stuff and being involved in the NASA program back in the early days. Tell us a little bit about that, the changes that have been taking place in terms of the way you have branded yourself, and then we'll get straight to your topic. Glad to have you on.
Top of the morning, Kevin. Glad to be here. Yes, thanks for the intro. I've spent 14 years at Mission Control in Houston, and since then, during the Apollo program and Gemini program, since then I've been trying to help companies understand the model that we use to win the space race in 7 years. So I've worked with approximately 600 companies and continue to do so and continue to try to get people to be the best they can be.
Very good. Tell us a little bit about the changes that have taken place. You're kind of going through some, a bit of a transformation right now.
Yeah, we are. We're located in northern Nevada, where Tesla is building their gigafactory 12 miles from my front door, and life as we know it has changed forever. Very small county of 5,000 people is now going to have 6,500 employees in one building. So we're undergoing a transformation of awareness and of raising the bar in our state from just being okay to being best in class, and that's going to be quite a transition.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being a part of that. That's fantastic. What is this topic today is always a very timely one, and it's unfortunately kind of one of those touchy-feely ones if not done properly, if not looked at properly. And, and we can interpret someone who can give a good speech as having leadership qualities, but it's so much more than that. And we're going to talk about that, the hallmarks of a true leader. That's our topic today. And where would you like to begin on that?
Well, first of all, this is an extension of the last time I was on. We were talking about what is the new Congress going to do, and it occurred to me that the first thing they have to do is have real leadership. We've not had that in so many years. So I thought we'd start by defining the attributes of a leader, because it's not something you were born with. It's an acquired skill. The only thing that you need to be taught how to be an effective leader is that you have to care. I can teach you anything else, but I can't teach you to care.
That's exactly right. And so where do we begin with that? Where do we begin of even ascertaining whether or not someone who claims to be a leader really does care?
Well, the first thing they have to do is decide to be an effective communicator. And the problem with that is communication is transmitting and receiving. And there's a lot of transmitters out there. We certainly are evolving into a country of monologue. But the effective leader has 2 ears and one mouth, and they use them approximately in that proportion.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Almost an inversion to way cheerleaders act.
Yeah, absolutely.
And by the way, I think there's a lot of people that there's a lot of people, particularly in the political arena, that try to project themselves as leaders, and they really are mere cheerleaders, aren't they?
They are. It's worse than that. They're cheerleaders, or they're running an agenda. And the running of agendas has been popularized the last 6 years, and we need to get away from that.
No question about it. And so talk a little bit about the importance of the vision, the mission, the values in conveying those type of things.
Well, the first thing we do when we start working with a new company is get what we call the true power, the person or persons who have the authority to hire and fire. We get them away from the company for a while, and we extract from them, what is your vision? When we won the space race, the vision was to get to the moon. What are your values? What are the values? The values are we're not going to kill anybody. In business, we need to find out what the values of the owner are. Are we trying to sell the business? Are we trying to be the best in class? Those things are seldom communicated to the people that work there. So vision, mission, and values have to be ascertained before we can go any further.
And how important is it for them to be conveyed over and over again in order to develop, if you will, almost like muscle memory, if you will?
It is, and what needs to be is that they exhibit it in their behavior. We can have signs all over the walls about our vision and our values, but the leader must exhibit it in everything he or she does. It's got to be. You can't have your car detailed in the parking lot and tell everybody else we're out of money.
Yeah, no question about it. That's right. It's so there's a big importance on congruence, where what we say matches who we are.
Yes, and that goes to the third point, which is understanding how we affect other people.
Mm-hmm.
Those of us in any kind of a leadership position have an effect on the people around us, and we almost never really understand how we affect them. So building communication among what we call the inner circle is paramount, and finding out, how do I affect you? How do my words and deeds affect you? That's what starts subgroups within companies where they're unhappy with the leadership, so they start their own leadership group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Talk about the importance of culture and environment in a business. I mean, in a business, sure.
Well, that's a good place, yeah.
Or really, I was hesitant only because it can actually be in any kind of institution, really, if you get down to it.
Yeah, I've started using the word organization more in companies for a long time. The culture is a product of vision, mission, and values being executed and being modeled all the time. So what we call a healthy learning community is one where the leadership engages everyone with this overused word of empowerment. Empowerment's another highly misunderstood word. By giving power to others, you do not diminish your own power. Your own power grows by giving power to others. But there has to be consequences, and when things don't go well, empowerment becomes, what did we learn from this mistake we just made, not shooting the guilty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. You know, it's if empowering was weakening, why would you have any employees?
Exactly.
But you're right. It's almost like we're so control-oriented that we control ourselves into poverty.
That's right, and I'm going to compliment you because I've been working with your organization for quite a while now, and everyone in your organization steps up and takes charge and gets things done. I'm very impressed. They've
got to compensate for me, Tom. All right, Tom Taormina, he's our guest. We've got just a minute left. Can you wrap up with your final point on a willing student? I love it.
You know, every one of us has to learn something every day, and leaders, so-called leaders who think they know everything, especially about how their business is running, is living in a world of folly. I just can't wait every day to learn something new. It's so invigorating to keep me going, and I know you're the same. You love to learn.
Got to wrap it up. Who's this book, Power and Consequences? Tell us real quickly about that. Leadership, Power and Consequences. Sorry.
Now, one of my associates that I've been working with for years just published his first book called Leadership, Power and Consequences. And if you really want to understand how it all works, I'd suggest you get a copy of that. It'll ring your chimes and change the way you look at leadership.
Tom Taormina, thanks so much. It was rocketscience.com. Check it out. And I tell you what, I recommend the books by Tom as well. I've read 2 of them, and they're phenomenal. Thanks as always, sir.
Thank you.
When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdatareview.com, including this interview. You're listening to The Price of Business.